This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. A short time ago, a scene that never fails to stir up the folks here in Charlotte. Cam Newton strutting his way onto the field. His guys are fired up as they get set to go toe-to-toe with the Atlanta Falcons. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. It's been a lost first month of the season, that's for sure, as they come in with an 0-4 record.
And the window's not shut on them, though. They still have a chance to make something out of this season, but it has to start right now.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll have Cam Newton calling the shots, the big man under center at 6'5", nearly 250 pounds.
And coming off of an early season open week. And in this situation, what he told us when we sat down with him was he spent a lot of time working on fundamentals, kind of getting back to basics during that time, as opposed to having to worry about healing up or resting up. It's too early in the season. Get back to the basics, get his game going again.
A carry now for Alex Collins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, set the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
He's going to loft one, deep left side. He's got a man, complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right into the game plan, attack them early, see if they're going to play any better. And if not, you keep the pressure on them until things change.
And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
On second down, Collins. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Alex Collins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers take it right down and score on the opening drive.
The losing streak can take on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
He'll look to throw. And his first pass is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll set up a throw. Flush to his right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Panthers have recovered. That's probably bringing back nightmares of last week, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Right now I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and I'm seeing the wheels turning in their heads, and you know what is happening? They're remembering how they started the season in camp, even in the offseason where they emphasized ball security, and they're wondering why the message.
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. On second down, here's Newton. And the pressure gets to him again. Deion Jones in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long.
So when you have good field position to start a drive and you give up back-to-back sacks, that can be demoralizing for a team.
Now Newton on 3rd and goal. And that is incomplete.
Well, touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
And his kick is indeed good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And last time they coughed it up. Led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game. The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
He'll drop to throw. He finds Coleman. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Back to throw. Steps away to his left. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Here's Coleman. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, his first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons draw a bit closer. And the defensive there, that was a battle. He just made a really nice play.
A really nice play, making sure his body position was correct. And how about the throw? Zipped it in there.
And it results in the touchdown. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Excellent effort defensively by him. 2 tackles for a loss last week, now 1 here in the first quarter.
He's an absolute disruptor, isn't he? And I think most offenses would love to go against guys who just want to hold the point of attack and try and keep things clean for their linebackers. But when they make those moves and they can get upfield, past the offensive line into the backfield, that's hard to handle.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires. on the first quarter of action. The Panthers off to the early lead. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers. To throw on second down is Newton. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Play action. It's Newton. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Grady Jarrett. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up fourth down. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Forced out to his left. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he gets it to the 30 when it's all said and done. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Over!
Coleman. Whoosh. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now back to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias Farley. And a return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
We call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Tackle made there by Matt Milano.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
This is Coleman, and he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Looking to throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker.
He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively, because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
This is caught, and they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row, I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
It's Coleman here. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Clock running, and the Falcons moving with a sense of urgency. They'll give it to him up the middle. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
This Carolina defense looking to keep him out of the end zone once more. 3rd and goal. They'll toss it to Coleman. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Falcons are in for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, It's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Time for our players spotlight, and it focuses in here on Cam Newton. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better? A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. They'll begin the drive with Collins. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports, an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here now come the Falcons. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs, and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
Coleman now. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here's Coleman on the toss. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Dancing to his left. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. His throw caught right around the 6. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Buying time to his left. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
The extra point up and good, and that makes it a 21-10 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, to something to get you off to a quick start.
They go again with Collins. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a play fake here on first down. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Grady Jarrett in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now a give to Collins. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On the NFL scoreboard, third quarter now from Jacksonville. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
Fighting through. He's got space. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like the...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Carolina getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long at the outset of this drive. And he gets it to Bunch is complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the fourth and final quarter of play. Now Newton on first down. And his throw here is incomplete. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. And that'll bring up second down.
His struggles finding open receivers continue. I don't know the last time I saw him this inconsistent throwing the football.
It would be hard to find a date when he was this inconsistent. You know, in his locker, he keeps the word poise printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. He needs to find that poise right now.
He certainly does. In fact, I would suggest he laminate it.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Push, a battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. They begin the drive with Coleman. He spins free, and he'll get this up to about the 40. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it second and 4.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bifema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The Falcons on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is third and 4. They'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open. And
there he goes, right side. Touchdown, Falcons. Tevin Coleman with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
180.
To throw on second down. Newton throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Newton on third down. And he comes back with one complete. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther first down.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Second and 10. Newton again. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
The Panthers on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 10. Again, Newton. Being chased out left. He may try and run for this. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is caught. It's pulled in by Gronkowski. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Newton. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. On 2nd and 10, Newton. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. They'll give him a yard on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch, just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. Now Newton. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. He'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite powering through the tackle. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Matt Milano leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. But they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a 1.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Newton flinches with a catch over the middle. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Here's Newton. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As it'll come with an even 90 seconds remaining on the clock. And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the 2nd down pass play only went for 2. Newton throwing again. And he's got his target. That's more. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. To the air again, Newton. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do? You got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end. Take some easier completions.
Okay, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Panthers are able to cut into this lead.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. They have gone final now in Cincinnati, and it's a big-time advantage for the Browns. They just scored again, pouring it on. If they hang on, that would up their win total to 5 on the season so far. Now they try the right side here. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They will run again with Coleman. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for Atlanta, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they'll return home next week to take on the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, things aren't